Hello and welcome back to Home Renovations Expert Steve here on an interesting one. So decking, I just did a large bit of decking, composite, very nice. But we rent this place. The garden here's a bit higgledy-piggledy for like Cameron trying to play and stuff like that. So off my own bag, cost to myself, but don't care. Gonna put in some very simple basic wooden deck. So what I'm gonna do is, if you're gonna do similar in a rented property, either get permission from your person who owns it, the landlord, or additionally do what I'm doing. So I'm gonna build it floating completely, not connected to the house. So literally when we go to leave, it'll be like, do you wanna keep the deck in? We'll leave it in, no problem. If you don't like it, I'll rip it up, stick it in a skip, but it's not connected to anything, it's not doing anything. It's just a floating deck sat there, so it can be removed and everything is back to exactly how it was before. So this one is gonna be as quick as I can do a bit of decking in a day, hopefully. So this is going to be, wait, see the dog's up and he's digging holes. 5.5 meters. I'm going to do it for about 2.5 meters this way. The reason I'm doing that is for speed. These lengths are 2.5, so I'm going to try and keep the cutting to the minimum. So just straight off the wall, come this way, 2.5 meters, which lands us about sort of, when the foot is about here, which is perfect. Nice little deck area. Again, I'm just going to do it sort of 4, so it's 5.5 meters. I'm going to do 2 lots of 2.4 sort of screwed together, which is going to give me 4.8, which brings me to the border just here. So these plants will remain. We'll put some other little bits and pieces in once we've done it. So yeah, this is the plan. Now, this is just a rented. It's just for us for like to use for a year or whatever. So normally I would, screw it all together using deck screws and stuff like that. But I'm not going to this time. I'm just going to use my nail gun. So that'll just fire it in. That'll make my life a lot faster, a lot quicker. And it's going to be absolutely beautiful and lovely to walk on. So yeah. So what I'm going to do first is get 2 lengths of these, get some nice straighter ones, and I'll lay them across there, and I'll show you how I mark them up and get it all ready for going down. But before I forget that, whatever your situation is, level off the ground a little bit as you need to. So that bed was a bit higher than other areas, so I've just like leveled it off, made it nice, scraped it across. The actual first thing you're going to want to do, where did I put it, is once you've done that part and you're happy with the area, very, very important, because you still want to do it to a standard, is weed membrane, okay? Dirt cheap, it's like 15 quid. And all you need to do is I literally lay that from one end to the other, overlap it again. So I'll take 3 runs and that'll be it done. That'll just stop any like weeds and bushes and stuff trying to grow through, just prevents them from getting sunlight basically, but it's still permeable, so rainwater can still seep through and get through to soil beneath. So I'm gonna do that next, get that down, and then I'll start getting some wood out and start fitting.
Hey.
Right, I've got my apprentice on. Cameron, say hello.
Hello.
Say hola.
Hola.
We just come back from Spain a couple of days ago, so he's getting into Spanish, it's quite cool. Cerveza, his favourite beer, just in case you was wondering. Right, so you can see here, I've got my base, my back plate, ready to go. It's not obviously joined, but what I'm gonna do is my deck boards are 2.4 meters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset them. Because it's exactly 4.8, I know that I'm going to get no offcuts from my boards, which is perfect. So literally, there'll be 1 board in the centre, 2 boards next to it on the side, 1 at the front, and then sort of rotate like that. So you've got the strength still built in. But what you're going to want is, in a second, Bubba, here, so every point where you've got a board that's going to meet. So obviously this is the centre. So there'll be a full board going from that end across to here somewhere. The next one will be like offset, so basically the join between the 2 boards will be here. Now I want to make sure I've got a stud here and here, so when the boards do overhang and they're sort of hanging through this crevice, they're fully supported, okay? So what I've done is, because I know this is the exact centre, because I'm working in equal measurements, which is great, from the centre of this joist, floor joist, I've then done 4 on the mark, 4 on the mark. There's another double one here, ready for when you get the other ones meeting. You'll just make a lot more sense in a bit. But basically another double joist, and then from there another 400, and obviously the end's going to be where the end is. So what I'll do is now, to make my life easier, find 2 more straight pieces of wood, line them up with these 2, and then simply butt those bits of wood up to these ones, transfer these marks onto what will be the front, bring these ones over there, and I can just put my joist in between, use my nail gun, fire them in. That's why it's away from the wall as well, so I can actually get my nail gun through the back to actually fire it. But I'll get these ones marked up, show you that. Cameron, no, put it down, Bubba. Jeez, he's lunatic. £10 little hammer, glass table. You can't take your eyes off these apprentices these days. I mean, I like the eagerness. You're very eager, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, very eager. But yeah, it's only a £200 table. So I'll get those marked up and show you that as well. And there you go, there you can see, I just transferred the mark straight across there, where's on there, boom, across, boom, across. So now I know that this is going to be square to this one, that's square to that one. It's exactly the same as building stud walls. If you go back quite a few videos to watch me building garden rooms and building the stud walls for that, it's exactly the same principle. Just grabbing tri-square, pop it on, draw across, done and dusted. So that's that. So that's the back plate done. That'll be the front part done. So all I need to do is separate them two off. Now bring that front one forward over here. Drop in the joist between, get my nail gun, fire straight through. I know exactly where everyone needs to sit then. Perfect. There you go. Right, so you can see now, well, I've got this in, but basically it's the equivalent. Where my pencil marks are, just line it up with the pencil mark, pencil mark, pencil mark. So what I did was, I just pulled the front one down there, I chucked in this one between it and one down that end, just to kind of get it square. Nail gun those in, two in each one, done, hammered them back through. And now I can just get these ones lined up in place. And now you can see there's a double joist there. And obviously there'll be a double joist through here between the two joints, between the two different sections. And that'll be where the boards are going to overlap. So literally, all I'm doing is grabbing my nail gun. You don't have to have a nail gun. You can screw it if you want to. You can also hammer nails in, you know. You don't need the fancy tools all the time. Just line it up where it needs to sit. Make sure it's flush with the top, so it's not kind of raised. And then one end. Super close up for you guys now. Done. Now, if you are using a nail gun, what you're going to find sometimes is, because it's all quite free floating and moving, when you fire it, they don't quite always go in. See that? Just poking out a little bit. But it doesn't matter, because like I say, all you then got to do, simple, isn't it? If this was pushed up against the wall and I was firing them in, because there's no bounce in it, they would fire through and they'd actually like go a bit further in. But because it's free floating a second, you know, you fire it and you lose some of the pressure in the actual movement of the wood. So yeah, so I'll go welt those ones in, and you can see I'm just going to finish it off. So that'll be this section built. Repeat that one, and that's taken me realistically with being soldiered by my apprentice, I don't know, like 20, 30 minutes so far. It doesn't have to take too long. So I'm going to finish getting the rigid structure done, and then yeah, on to the next bit. Right, so you can kind of see it's taking shape now. So actually I've just sort of lined that one up. But what, well, I didn't know about it. There's a hopper here to take the rainwater away, which is just here. Now, when I was building this, as I just showed you, I could have kind of worked out as I kind of went, but sometimes, you know what, it's just easier to build, in this case, the rectangle, then just line up level where it needs to be. Then all I need to do is mark off there, measure the depth from where it's going to sit to the front, and then take this bit off here. We're using my circular saw. I just literally take it, lift up the deck a little bit, and just cut straight through, bang, like I've done over here for this one. You can just see, I just chopped through there, that then took that bit off, and I just reinforced it across here. So stud across there, and a little one going across there, and that's all cut around, so when a deck board comes here, you can overhang it a little bit, but fully supported, still ready to rock and roll. So, hello gorgeous. So I'm now going to do the same in this section here.
Daddy,
So mark it,
this is not a garden.
mark it. It's going to be a garden. Everyone's a critic until you're finished. Cut it there and there, slide this up, and then just put in some braces where I need to. Simple, isn't it? So I've finished cutting around the hopper. I'll take these off, a bit more personal. And there you go. That is it now. The framework is in. One thing I haven't mentioned, which would be quite useful, is I've got a big like chop saw, boom, lovely, dust extractor, all that stuff. You'll have seen it on many, many jobs. Makita battery operated. It's very nice, but I can't be arsed. It's around my old man's in the garage and it's just a pain going to get it. So what I'm doing is using that. So what I'm doing is taking my tape measure, measure off where I ever need to, boom, try square, mark it, and then just use that straight through, boom. You get a nice neat straight cut every time because you know that that's straight off of it, and that's how I'm doing any cuts and bits and pieces I need to do. What I'm now currently doing is I'm running around and just getting what I refer to as my primary levels done. So you can see at the back, the threshold is nice and tight underneath that one. That's the one that's kind of set because that threshold is lower than that one. So this is always going to be the one that dictates the height. So there will be a tiny step coming down, but well, we had a massive step before, so not a big deal. That's that now in. So I'm now just leveled off the front. I'm using these Joists bad boys. They are bloody brilliant. Get those from Wix. And literally, base, it's technical. That, can you see that? No, just a bit high. And you just wind it up or down. So you stick it underneath the joist. Not a good one, for example, but you get the idea. Slide it under, tighten up till it makes impact. Done. Put your level on it and just sort of work it out. So you want to make sure the level's good in that direction. And that one, you also want to leave a bit of a run, so like a couple of mil out. So I've got this one tilting very slightly forward this way, just to help the rainwater run off it, basically. So that way, you know, when it's pilling it down, the rainwater's got a chance to actually run off and be cool. So that's it. I'm going to finish off putting in the levels. These were actually left over from a job, from the last decking job I did, so it's perfect because they were just sitting in the garage, taking up space. So it's nice to actually use them up. So I'll run through, put a row at the front, all the way through. I then run a row through the centre. The back is pretty much level because it's actually in the floor, in contact on the floor. So that's fine and dandy, so that'll be right. And then what I'll do is with the rest of them that I've got, however many that's going to be, if I need an extra support through the thirds of it, you know, where it might be a bit of bounce, then I'll just chuck those in where I need to. But yeah, once I've got these ones at the front, ones in the middle, should be pretty much there then. I'll just be using them up really. Right. So like I just said, or did I? I can't remember where I got to now. Leveling is now done. So you can see, basically, I've got like one just in there where I could get it, a couple of bits up there. But basically, if you just follow through, you can see there's now very little bounce in this thing now. And of course, once you put the deck boards in, you kind of knit it all together and it's going to be beautiful. Now, I've now done the first two. They're beautiful, aren't they? Very, very nice. So they are now like that, which is good as gold. The other thing I'm going to do is I want to get one that goes in the front here, sort of finish the front edge, yeah? So what I'm going to do is I've measured 30 mil from that edge there to there. So I now know when I put that board underneath, it'll sit under here beautifully. Because if I just started that straight flush on the front of the actual, what do you call it, a joist, then it just mean I end up with like the edge being here on top. So if you look down, it would have been overhanging like that. And I just prefer to have it lipped underneath. Just looks a bit neater in my opinion. So that is me plan. Now there's quite a bit of controversy around this, so I'm just going to cover it quickly. Decking has designed to be up one particular way or the other, right? So look, you see these ridges, okay? So the idea is these are put on there, so they theoretically should be on the downwards, okay? And that allows rainwater and stuff, blah, 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 to run away from the deck. I actually prefer the look of this because in all honesty, when all is said and done, that side gives you more grip. I prefer the look of it. This decking is pressure treated. It's going to last for flipping donkey's years, okay? So water just running away underneath it, I'm not too precious about. And the fact of the matter is, it's still got ridges here. Obviously not as big, and this is a personal preference. You can do it exactly how you want to. If you want to do it the correct way, then obviously these would be the side bottom. But I like that. I like the look of that. I prefer it. So that's my choice. And that's going to be it beautiful. So that is why these ones, because people who fit this all the time and do it for clients, even when I do it for clients, they will say, which way up do you want it? And I explain it to them. And 9 times out of 10, they want this one, not the other one. So there you go. Yeah, it might not last completely as long, but you're talking like a tiny bit of the life of it. I say it's pressure treated, it's going to last for flipping donkey's years. So there you go. Now, back to the front. So I've measured 30 mil off the front, right? But before I secure these ones, I still get my actual level with a straight edge, but I'll also drop on a board, mark the 1.2, which is halfway, so I know that's exactly it. So that's even Stevens across the length of it. And you can now see it's now going to be level. I've put one nail in there so I can just demonstrate this. And actually there's a bit of a gap there. So now all I need to do is wiggle it up there, and that's now closed it off. So I've already fixed it with one, put my 5mm spacer in to allow for expansion, and now I know that is going to run absolutely beautiful. And now also you can see why I've double joisted now, can't you? So where this one runs all the way through doesn't make a difference, but when it lands over here, it's still got support, so that won't bounce. It's got support there, done and dusted. These ones, as they run and they finish here, they too have got support all the way through these ones. So a bit of pre-planning just means you're gonna make it less bouncy, stronger, and just damn better. Right, so I'm gonna go ahead now and get all these like fitted. And this is the fun bit now. This is the good bit. So, like I just showed you, these front ones are now completely secured. Drop the 5mm spacer in, either end, put this board up tight to it. Like I said, if I've got my pencil mark there for the 1.2, so that's running right through the centre, you can just see it there. And I'll go ahead, fix this one, and then do the cuts for the other side. But this is how you get the even spacing throughout. 5mm spacers, job done, no guessing, no messing, no fussing, perfect. Whew. Quite warm now, as if I wasn't before. But I think you'll find that that is not a bad little time's work. So that is it, done, solid, happy days. And that's taken me 4, 5, 6 hours. 6 hours to get it done. Now, I know I've kind of cheated again. I've used the nail gun, 63mm ringed galvanised nails, bang, done and dusted. But don't forget, if you haven't got one, you can hire one. If you could get this done in a day, it's well worth the cost of just for hiring one, just to use it. Like I say, you can screw these as well with proper like deck screws. The difference really is going to be, it's a bit neater with the screws, but at the end of the day, it's a deck. This one's down. It's not permanent. Well, it's permanent for the landlord, but it's not like for me personally in our own private house. So this is absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. Once it's sustained up, you never see those again. Marvelous. See around here, all cut. This is exactly the same. I just use the chop saw, just cut the depth, run it across, and then a jigsaw just to return that, just so it's all finished there, all finished around this threshold. And yeah, for 6 hours graft, I'm happy. I'm hot, but I'm very happy. So yeah, really chuffed. So if you like that, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that stuff. It's not normally that I like upload anything on the weekend or do any work list on the weekend. So as a little bonus for everybody. But tonight I'm looking forward to putting a chair on it. Me and a wife, glass of red for her, ice cold, 660ml bottle of Peroni for myself. Oh, happy days. Have a nice weekend. Bye.